Hello and welcome to the 2021 Annual FAB Membership Meeting. My name is Ed Hatchick, your FAB President. Last year, around this time, we were gathered in the Mary Porter Ballroom at the Broward Center for Performing Arts. We were gathered with friends and enjoying lunch for the 2020 FAB Annual Meeting. But a couple of days after that meeting, we went on lockdown. So for the past year, we have all altered many things in our life due to this pandemic. Some will remain, but most were eager to transition to a new normal, especially when it comes to socializing and to traveling. So if you brought your lunch today, please enjoy it while I take a few minutes to review our past FAB year. Following that, you will hear from our FAB member and major contributor, Tim Ingham, who will introduce the executive director of the Gold Coast Jazz Society, our featured grantee performance today. I call the 2021 FAB annual meeting to order. Based on our results from the recent FAB membership vote, we have a quorum for this meeting. The minutes of the 2020 March 11th meeting are on file. We'll pass on the reading of the minutes today, but they are available upon request. With the results from our recent membership vote to approve the slate of new FAB board members, I am pleased to congratulate and announce the new board members to all of you. Sandra Stella, Executive Manager of Stella Art Conservation and the current co-chair of FAB Corporate Partner Committee. Eleanor Levy, a past director of NSU Planned Giving Program and currently co-chair of FAB Grants Committee for 2023, and also a member of the Revenue Sustainability Task Force for FAB. Craig Wilson, a retired management member of the International Paper Organization and currently a member of FAB's Finance Committee and a member of the Revenue Sustainability Task Force for FAB. Nancy Bryant served on a number of national boards pertaining to arts, is a founding member of FAB, and currently serves on the Revenue Sustainability Task Force. And Mona Benz served on the Weston Music Society Board, is currently the Northern Trust FAB corporate representative, and serves on this year's FAB Grant Committee. Please welcome our new board members. Though our world has turned upside down during the past 12 months, we all must celebrate what FAB has accomplished during that time. Our 8 FAB committees have been busy during this whole time. Usually summers are somewhat quiet for FAB activities, but without travel plans and without meetings in person, we spent last summer with our new best friend, Zoom. During the difficult year, I'm here to announce that our Funding Arts Broward organization is strong, stable, and ready for the future. So listen as I demonstrate the evidence. In meeting the FAB mission to support, sustain, and enrich the arts in our community, FAB has contributed over $3.6 million to the arts during the past 17 years. It is clear FAB continues to have an increasing financial impact on the arts organization in Broward. For this year, I am proud to announce the grant pool for 2022. Little drum roll, please. So for this year, we are going to be awarding from a grant pool of $278,800. In a year of COVID, we all should be proud of this accomplishment. We could not have done this without all of you. Special thanks to the generous grant donations from the Helen Ingham, the David and Francie Horowitz, and the Maurer Family Foundations, as well as Alice Smith. All have provided major contributions to the grant pool. Also, thanks to many FAB members who provided additional grant funding above and beyond their FAB membership fees. When it comes to generosity, the 2020 Visionary Fund Campaign exceeded its financial goal for last year. Thanks to the two co-chairs, Ruth and Louise, for leading the visionary campaign and the very generous major support it received from the Peck family, the Laston family, and the David and Francie Horowitz Foundations, as well as David Umbach and David Monroe. We received additional funds from 67 FAB members and friends. We are so grateful for your support and belief in FAB's impact on our community. Another area of change for FAB during 2020 is reaching our members. Since in-person events were off the table, we invested in virtual productions like this. With the efforts and creativity of our FAB administrator, Kat Sierra, we held 7 FAB Presents so far this year. Since many of us were inundated with virtual meetings and programs, FAB needed to up the ante in providing interesting, professionally produced programs. We partnered with Palm Beach media company Art Hive to deliver some of our FAB Presents this season. Thanks to Gail and Vicki, the program committee season started off on September 1st with a panel discussion regarding the impact of COVID on the arts and on philanthropy. And that you'll see on the lower left-hand side of the screen. You'll see all the other events that were held this year. So we were pleased to have experience with various artists and organizations from around the country and Broward County. Our next live FAB Presents will be on April 19th with a virtual tour at the NSU Art Museum led by Bonnie Clearwater, the museum director and chief curator. This will be a virtual tour and will include the world of Anna Sui, which explores the glamorous and eclectic world of one of New York's most acclaimed designers. With COVID impacting our FAB social events, a new committee formed this past year, the Communications Committee, stepped up to enhance our reach to all FAB members. Led by our past president, Carolyn Lee, the committee and Kat reimagined a FAB news publication. The result is the FAB Scene, which is a monthly communication publication which provides featured short stories about FAB members, corporate partners, grantees, and events. We have received really very favorable responses about the FAB Scene, which will live on past COVID as a regular FAB news email. Among the many challenges of COVID is the financial impact on the arts organization. Led by our dedicated treasurer, Cindy Eden, FAB faced the financial challenges head on. Through the work of the Finance Committee, Cindy has led new policies, procedures to ensure the accuracy and comprehensive reporting to represent a financially solid organization. For this year, our operating budget is $118,000, but 89% of that goes to grant and membership programs. So only 4% for funding and 7% for administration. As a membership organization, FAB members are the heart and soul of our FAB. It is you that provide financial support to the arts in our community, and it's you that provide the necessary operational support to sustain a professional and respected organization like FAB. Most years, our membership retention is 90%. This past year, with the impact of COVID, we had no live social events or programs or opportunities to host in-person prospect events. But we were still able to maintain 86% retention of membership. Our membership committee, led this year by the amazing Jane Carragher and dedicated Drasia Simon, have worked diligently to outreach to members throughout 2020 to keep in contact with all our FAB members. We look forward to later this year, when it's safe, to reunite in person for social events and prospect events. With the astonishing work done by the Grants Committee, led by hardworking co-chairs Cindy Cashin and Harvey Shapiro, they oversaw a total of 63 participating FAB members on the Grants Committee. All FAB members will have an opportunity later this month to approve the grantees and their awards. In fact, I believe the vote has gone out today. We appreciate the committee's engagement and time in reviewing, interviewing, and scoring the 49 eligible FAB grantee requests. And this was the first year for a new category. We introduced arts education, which we'll see that there were 7 recipients recommended in that category. Let me take a moment to call out our board. From last March, the first month of the lockdown, the board was proactive in addressing the impact of COVID on our grantees and our members. March, the board voted to relinquish the performance requirements for the 2020 grantees to help them sustain their own existence. During May 2020, also, our FAB board met over 2 days and met virtually to address FAB's future and sustainability. We outlined 4 key areas of focus for FAB: revenue, membership, diversity, and collaboration. Initiatives were established, metrics and target dates established. A special task force with 8 FAB members was kicked off this January to address FAB revenue sustainability, one of the 4 strategic goals. With a deliverable due April 15th of this year, the committee is assigned to provide various recommendations that are intended to ensure long-term growth and vitality for FAB. During the past year, with many businesses struggling to exist, the Corporate Partner Committee was challenged to achieve their 2020 goal of adding 8 new corporate partners. However, with achieving 4 new corporate partners whose membership ranged from $3,500 to $15,000, the committee achieved 90% of their financial goal for last year. So here's a video message for Sandra Stella, a co-chair of the committee, regarding FAB corporate partners.
Funding Arts Broward offers companies an easy and reliable way to support arts and culture throughout the Broward County since 2003. FAB has awarded more than $3.5 million to over 90 art organizations. Promoting and supporting the arts through FAB is a great way for companies to help build vibrant communities, connect with customers, and improve the quality of life for all county residents. FAB takes the guesswork out of corporate giving through a stellar grant award process facilitated by FAB volunteers. The Corporate Partner Committee is asking for your help. If you're a business and you have a passion for the arts, consider joining our corporate program. Or if you know of companies and businesses who support our community, let them know about this incredible opportunity to foster and cultivate the arts through FAB. Reach out to us for more information at fabcorporatepartner@gmail.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you, Sandra, Jim Eden, and the Corporate Partner Committee. You have elevated FAB's exposure with the business community. We call on all FAB members to contact the committee if you have any suggestions for a potential corporate partner. All we need is the lead. We'll take it from there. This May, the following board members will be retiring from the FAB board: Ruth Anderson Cogshell, Harvey Shapiro, Linda Carter, and Jane Carragher. Each of you provided leadership and influence as FAB has matured and grew during the years you were on the board. Thank you to all of you. So the evidence of FAB stability and viability, as demonstrated from the 2020 results just presented, is clear. And all of you should be proud of your Funding Arts Broward organization. Next up, I am very pleased to introduce a generous and long-term FAB member and supporter, Tim Ingham. Tim will be introducing Gold Coast Jazz Society. Tim?
Thank you, Ed. It's nice to be here. I had my first dose of vaccine this morning, so I come to you with a little extra enthusiasm. but I'm wearing a few different hats today as president of Gold Coast Jazz Society, a FAB grantee, president of the Helen Ingham Foundation, a FAB funder, and as a loyal FAB member along with my wife, Julie. Very enthusiastic about the mission of FAB. And Ed asked me to talk a little bit about that connection. My mother was a member, so I didn't have much choice about joining, but I definitely inherited some of her passion for the cause and have seen a very good argument for it myself. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale at a time when it was kind of a cultural desert. Nowadays, arts organizations talk a lot about the economic impact of arts and the contribution they make to the quality of life in communities. And that sounds a little abstract, but I lived the before and after. I've seen it with my own eyes in very concrete ways, and I'm a real believer. When I was growing up here, not only was there no Gold Coast Jazz Society, there was no Broward Center. For jazz, we relied on little clubs and restaurants that came and went. For other kinds of concerts, it might be the Hollywood Sportatorium, or for a while, the Sunrise Musical Theater. The Museum of Art on Las Olas hadn't been built yet. The Broward Downtown Library hadn't been built yet. We were fortunate to have the Parker Playhouse for touring Broadway shows, and I'm so pleased to know that that is being restored to its former glory. I can't wait to meet you all at the Parker. But in the 80s, I went away to college thinking I'd probably never be back. And then it seemed almost in a flash, through some visionary leadership, that in places that had been sleepy or run down or blighted, these cultural jewels began to appear. And I can remember attending the opening for Phantom in black tie at the Broward Center and being in real disbelief that this was happening in Fort Lauderdale. And Gold Coast Jazz Society began in the early 90s, riding that same momentum. And Fort Lauderdale was changing from a place that you had to leave for your cultural stimulation to a place that really was starting to offer more than you had time to fit in. And I feel that FAB has taken the baton from those early visionaries and is keeping all these wonderful institutions thriving, not only through the funding, but by bringing together the people who care about these things. All the partnerships and cross-pollination makes us all stronger. And the rich assortment of grantee organizations is a testament to how far this community has come. And I know one challenge that all arts organizations face, we at Gold Coast Jazz Society face it when someone might tell us, well, I don't like jazz. And of course, we don't really believe that. We tend to think, well, you haven't been introduced to the right artists and the right context. But even if we did accept it, my argument for you today is that that's no reason not to lend your support. You may not think you care about jazz, but you probably do care about education and at-risk kids who benefit from our programs. You may not think you care about contemporary art, but I bet if you drop by the Art and Culture Center of Hollywood, you would see that it is obviously having a positive impact on that community. You may think you don't like dance or opera or choral music or the art of William Glackens, but you are very lucky that there are so many people here who do care very passionately about those things, because they simply make this a much better place to live. And I have seen the difference with my own eyes. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, so let me end by sincerely thanking all of you for supporting FAB and being the true believers. Now, before Ed cuts off my mic, I think I had better stop speechifying, and I will introduce to you, with great pride, the Executive Director of Gold Coast Jazz Society, Pam Dearden. Take it away.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you very much for hosting us today and letting me tell you all a little bit about the Gold Coast Jazz Society. As Tim said, Gold Coast Jazz was founded in the early 90s, actually in 1992 by Fred Ruffner and a group of really great jazz enthusiasts. And we started presenting concerts in the dining room of the Riverside Hotel, expanded to the 110 Tower Club, and then in 1997 moved over to the Amaturo Theater at the Broward Center, where we present 7 jazz concerts a year at that beautiful theater there. So since 1992, we have touched over 328,000 people with jazz. We've presented over 400 jazz artists. We've touched the lives of over 122,000 students with our jazz education and outreach programs. And we have supported jazz students through scholarships and awarded over $500,000 in jazz scholarships through the Jeanette Russell Jazz Scholarship Program. So what's happening with Gold Coast Jazz this spring? Well, we're very fortunate that we've been able to pivot and do some live streaming, and we plan some live events. So our first event coming up will be on March the 28th, which is this coming Sunday. And we will have our Jazz Jam, which usually occurs inside ArtServe. It'll be outdoors with some student jazz musicians. So if you'd like to hear some little jazz, it's free, but we require a reservation because it's limited seating. So check us out this coming Sunday. Then on April the 8th, we partnered with the city of Pompano, and we present a little series called A Taste of Jazz at Home, which is on the city's Facebook Live and YouTube channels. And so this time it will feature Martin Hand, Nikki Orta, and Matt Cauldron, a jazz trio. So check that out on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. through the city of Pompano. And then on April the 14th, we're presenting our first live performance at the Backstage Lot Live part of the Broward Center. So this is a FAB-funded concert featuring Ken Poplowski, his quartet, with a local jazz vocalist, Wendy Peterson. It should be a great night. And it's outside under the stars, so we're looking forward to that. And then on May the 12th, we'll be presenting Nicole Henry in the Amaturo Theater, again, another FAB-funded concert. With her concert, It Never Entered My Mind. So tickets are online at thebrowardcenter.org or in person at the Broward Center box office. So check that out. There are tickets available to the April concert right now. And then tickets will be available to the May show later in April. And check out our website at goldcoastjazz.org to learn how to donate to the Gold Coast Jazz Society, support our different programs, and just keep up with what's happening in our jazz world. So I would like to thank everyone and thank FAB very much for their support. We've been a FAB-funded group since the beginning, and we have been eternally grateful for the support to enable us to present jazz to the South Florida community. So now we'd like to have you enjoy a little bit of jazz from a 2017 jazz concert at the Amaturo Theater, which was a FAB-funded concert again, and featuring the Carol Welsman Trio. This occurred at the Amaturo Theater at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. And you'll hear a little introduction by a couple FAB members, Stan Oken and Arden Cahill, who enjoyed that concert and have been members of the Gold Coast Jazz Society and FAB for many years. Take it away.
Okay, well, this is a really terrific singer. She articulates very well. She has great phrasing, and she has a very original style. The drummer happens to be one of the best you've had here. He's local to Fort Lauderdale or Miami-Dade, but and as well as the guitar player and the bass player. So we are members of Gold Coast Jazz, and we really enjoy everything here.
That is such a beautiful song. It really is. Hello. Could you Parrish, are you up there? Could you give me a little bit more of Ignacio Berro, please, in my monitor? I just love to hear these fancy brushes and all these things he's doing. Well, we would like to close the first half with a song that I've actually only performed once before. I have another Cuban drummer in LA who is just as crazy as Ignacio, and just as good. they're both, they come from such deep roots of rhythms that are just divine. I mean, we don't hear those rhythms in Canada. Not as much. I think you have to grow up on Cuban coffee and rice and beans and the really good stuff, you know, and then all of a sudden it just gets into your pores. But I've learned so much from these gentlemen, and so this is a fun song that I know you know, and so I'm just kind of trying to master the lyrics and to keep up with these guys. So I hope you understand. But before we do play this, I would like to announce that we actually have CDs here tonight for sale. I don't know how that happened. And also, you'll be happy to know that we have Carol Welsman caps with grand pianos on the front. And you'll want them. I know you will. It's good for, you know, you gotta watch the sun here, so. Anyway, I'd like you to put your hands together again for John Hart on the guitar, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Noel Miguel on the bass. And Ignacio Vergara on the drums. Yes, you're charming and you're gentle, especially when you do the continental. But this feeling isn't purely mental. Forever and mistakes, we're not as bestest. And that's why I won't dance, wash your back. I won't dance, I won't hide. I won't dance, let's go cool. I know that music leads the way to romance, but if they're holding together, I won't dance.
Wow. I'm wondering how many people kept their feet quiet during that whole performance. So what a great performance. Wish we were there a couple of years ago. So thank you, Pam, for sharing some highlights about Golden Coast Jazz Society. It's just what we need these days. This kind of this escape into these soulful sounds of this talented performing arts group. It was terrific. So thank you again, Tim and Pam, for participating at our annual meeting. Well, this concludes our 2021 annual meeting. I want to thank Tim and Pam from Gold Coast Jazz, Kat, Sierra, and the team from Art Hive, Jesse and Angela, for producing this FAB Presents. We've come a long way in a year during productions, and I think hopefully you'll admit this one really was terrific. So anyways, so mark your calendars for the next FAB Presents on April 19th. Also check your mail for your ballots for approval of the slate for grantees for 2022. So it's been a pleasure being with you today. I wish we were live, but this is the next best thing. So until next time, stay happy, stay well, but also watch the credits at the end. I think you'll enjoy. Peace.